I mean, it's stated by your testifier, this is one of the primary points of contact or primary ways in which law enforcement engages with the community. A law has been violated, and the person who's doing so is endangering the public by driving a vehicle that's not street legal, not safe to be in operation. And often it's discovered, as was the case with Dante Wright, that they have an outstanding arrest warrant. In his case, it was misdemeanor charges involving illegal possession of a pistol. We spent a lot of time talking about how we want to reduce gun violence. It occurs to me that one of the best ways to do that is to apprehend somebody who has an outstanding warrant for illegal possession of a pistol. And so I guess I'm wondering, like, if we're taking away the primary mechanism by which law enforcement engages with the public, what's the alternative process through which such warrants are going to be executed?
Representative Frazier.
Representative Hudson, in that scenario that you just described, they weren't there the initial onset wasn't to serve a warrant. This bill doesn't touch any ability that a prosecutor would have to seek a warrant and then have that warrant executed by a sheriff or a local police officer. So this doesn't touch that at all, and I think that is the way that those things should be addressed.
Representative Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Representative Frazier. So you're suggesting that the way to respond to someone having a warrant out for their arrest is to track them down in some other fashion other than finding them as the result of a traffic stop.
Representative Frazier.
What I'm saying is that this bill does not curtail the ability to serve someone a warrant. Just the initial reason that they pulled Mr. Wright over was not to serve a warrant, and we see where the escalation led to. We lost a life, and we further created a further gulf of distrust between law enforcement and community. That is what we're seeking to address here, is how do we prevent those situations. And these are about low-level traffic offenses, not situations where you're driving a vehicle that would be harmful to yourself or to the community because you're operating that vehicle. The approach that we're taking is very scalpel-like to ensure that that is not the case. If it is truly a public safety hazard to be driving that vehicle, then this bill does not prevent a peace officer from pulling that individual over and citing him for that hazard.
Representative Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Representative Frazier. Be that as it may, I appreciate the fact that the bill does, in fact, allow the enforcement of traffic laws. But be that as it may, the fact of the matter is, based upon the testimony that we've heard, that this impedes one of the primary mechanisms through which law enforcement officers are able to execute warrants that have been lawfully served on individuals for crimes that imply imminent violence or potential violence. And so, to my mind, the only alternative, if we're going to take away this primary avenue of contacting people in the wild, so to speak, then there has to be some sort of proportional increase in the other ways that we seek out people who have had warrants served against them. And that means what? Going to their place of residence, going to their place of employment, assuming they have one, going into any public space. And in that process of trying to hunt them down to execute a warrant that's been lawfully served, I don't understand how that's going to result in a better outcome than finding them pulled over on the side of the road. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, I'll just say, because right now it's a needle in a haystack. I mean, you can follow somebody's car. If they can look at their license plate number and determine there's a warrant out for them, then they can stop that person. Right now, if you're stopping someone from for having an air freshener hanging from your rearview mirror, then, I mean, the chances that they have a warrant are probably very slim, but you're able to stop people for so many things, for not paying their taxes, essentially, because they have expired tabs. So that's really what we're trying to get at. Right now, it's a needle in a haystack. And so that's how I look at it.